Two superstars have qualified for Money in the Bank. We've got some major NXT call-ups, which are imminent, and a top AEW star has been removed from the roster and is departing for WWE. It's time for the news. First match on SmackDown last night saw a triple threat to see who qualifies for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Nia Jax going one-on-one, and a bit of a shock perhaps, Naomi picking up the win, qualifying for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which takes place, can you believe it, next week. It's come around so fast.
It has come around so fast.
Don't sound sad.
No, it's just... It's
sound like Triple H, hate Money in the Bank.
Hate it, absolutely despise the concept. No, it's come around so fast. It's maybe my favourite pay-per-view of the year, bar Rumble.
Yeah, fair.
Like, it's got such a special feel because I think it's because of that 2011 pay-per-view with CM Punk. But the Money in the Bank match itself is
14 years ago. No, fair.
Don't remind me how long ago that was.
All right, she is going to be joining Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Rhea Ripley in that match. The sixth and final spot is going to be determined in a qualifying match on this coming Monday Night Raw. Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, who we'll be talking about in a little bit, and Ivy Nile. Who you got in that one?
I'm torn between Liv and Stephanie. I think it'll likely go with Liv, but Stephanie being we're going to get onto it soon, but a bigger presence on the main roster, you don't want to have her losing there.
However, it is the same day as the WWE AAA mega event, Worlds Collide as well. Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, she could do double duty, work the afternoon, go over to the
Money in the Bank match. You sicko.
Easy.
Yeah,
wrestling's for the sickos.
It is. Also on last night's SmackDown, Andrade scoring a win in his qualifier. He was taking on Carmelo Hayes and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu getting distracted after Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo got into a bit of a ringside brawl with Jimmy Uso. So they're keeping Jacob Fatu strong in defeat. Andrade picking up the win there over Carmelo Hayes. We've got the final spot in the men's match. That's going to be taking place on Monday Night Raw. And a big old match, this one. CM Punk versus AJ Styles in a match for the first time in God knows how long.
So long. 20 years, maybe?
20 odd years.
Yeah.
They're going to be joined by El Grande Americano, who I think is going to pick up the win, Fraser.
I think he might as
I
well.
think he's in there. Chad Gable couldn't do it, so El Grande will.
We've had shenanigans in the men's match last night. We had a roll-up in the women's match last night. I don't see this being a clean one as well. I think this is going to be something going on.
You know what? A big part of me thinks that CM Punk doesn't want to be doing a bloody Money in the Bank match at his age. AJ Styles as well. No spring chicken.
No.
So I think El Grande Americano is going to have to do that one. And you know what? The joke hasn't gotten old for me. I like the El Grande Americano stuff. Sue me. I think it's a good laugh. And I think Gable in a Money in the Bank match.
I'd like to see him win it. And then does he get to cash in as Chad Gable? And then they stop. They're like, that doesn't count. They're like, it doesn't count because it's El Grande Americano's contract.
Forgets to put his mask on, runs through the
down.
Bollocks.
Like, oh my God, it's Chad Gable.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope that's actually what happens now.
We mentioned her a moment ago. Stephanie Vaquer is being called up to the main roster. So it looked like this was going to be taking place after the WWE AAA Worlds Collide show. It's been rumoured for a while. She dropped the NXT Women's Championship to JC Jane, of course, on this Tuesday's episode of NXT. And then reports started circulating that following that Worlds Collide event, Stephanie Vaquer was expected to be called up to the main roster. No point in waiting. Adam Pearce gets on social media, does one of his little videos, saying that Vaquer has officially signed with the Red brand. So she is now a main roster superstar. It's another big loss to NXT from the women's side of things. They're going to be totally fine. They're going to be totally fine, obviously, because they've got such a strong women's division anyway. But some of the names that are departing, have departed, are expected to depart, NXT's women's roster, they're the big ones, aren't they?
They are the big ones. They're the names that have been brought in the past year that everyone's been very excited about and very excited to see what they do on the main roster. But now it's like, that has left a space to fill on the top level of NXT, which I have full faith that they can do. It's just all of them at once is a big loss.
It is. It's time to step up NXT Women's Division. Speaking of call-ups, another one expected to be moving to the main roster imminently is Ricky Starks. This is from the Wrestling Observer, who said that Stephanie Vaquer, who we just mentioned, and Ricky Starks both lost their titles on NXT this week. Vaquer, the NXT title in a shocker to JC Jane, and of course, the North
American title to Ethan Page.
Yes.
Like, that one I was surprised at because he's had such a short reign, but also it felt like he came in obviously the day after he left AEW, comes in NXT, put the title on him basically straight away. It was like, here, we've got nothing for you just now on the main roster. Go and have some fun in NXT at the moment. Here's a title. We want to give you something to do. Then we'll bring you up. And it feels very much like that has, I don't want to say run its course, but like they've gone, okay, WrestleMania's done. Come on over to SmackDown or Raw.
That's a big part of it. The timing was like the WrestleMania card was being built or had been built at the point that and all these big names join. And it's like, you don't want to bring it to the main roster and then have nothing to do at WrestleMania. So it did make sense. The reason for this, by the way, according to The Observer, was that both, along with Jordan Grace, are expected on the main roster imminently. They say, we didn't get a read on where Saints would be going, so which brand he would be going to. All three were not expected in NXT for a long period of time. They were paid above what NXT usually pays, and those talents are usually targeted for shorter runs there. It makes sense if you're going to invest a significant amount of money in somebody. You want them on one of your bigger shows.
Especially your touring brands, so that you've got a lot of money invested. You don't want them in one location. Even if they're a draw there, you know that NXT is going to get the same amount of people every single week. You can move them elsewhere and it still is effective. I hope there's big things for him.
For Ricky Starks?
Yeah.
Sorry, Saints. Okay, right. So do I. And you know what? He's in quite a good position because he's best buddies with Cody. And I'm not saying Cody's going to go like, yeah, he's my mate, book him strong or anything like that. But under the tutelage of one Cody Rhodes, you can imagine Cody will have Ricky's best interests in mind and ensure that the presentation of Ricky Saints is spot on for the main roster, and I imagine they'll be working quite closely together, not necessarily on screen or anything, but quite closely together.
I'd imagine so.
To make sure that Ricky Starks is maximizing his minutes and doing what is right for the main roster. I think it's a gimmick that lends itself to the main roster.
More so than NXT, I think. I think he came in ready-made, sort of knowing who he was, but having that heel edge, and I hope he is a heel on the main roster. It works so much better as a heel. But going to the main roster, he knows what his character is. He knows how he should do this. It's just going to be exciting to have him feel, and it's always the case when people jump between companies. Some people benefit in one, some benefit in the other. He's going to just walk into the other like Cody did, with the same character, the same gimmick. Granted, his last name's different, but it's the same person, and it works the same. I'm very excited to see what he does. And
with The Rock off TV at the moment, they've got a suitable replacement.
You've got a replacement. Yeah, just have him involved in the John Cena feud.
Nobody will be able to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about the NXT women's division losing some of its bigger names, but it looks like we might not have to wait too long to see at least one of those replaced, because Mariah May was removed from AEW's website roster page yesterday. We've talked about her quite a lot over the last month or so, about the fact that she is reportedly going to WWE. It looks more certain than ever. PW Insider reporting that WWE sources noted over the last week that they expect May to start with the company in the near future. Fightful noting that AEW were well aware that May would be leaving when her contract expired, while people close to the top of WWE have stated that the wheels have been in motion for May to join the organization. She finished up with AEW essentially with the Hollywood ending with Toni Storm. One of my favorite rivalries of the last few years in AEW. Just incredible. And the way that Mariah came in, she was built perfectly. What a run she had.
It's like she's had one of the strongest booked runs in any American company in recent memory. She's instantly come in. She's really only had like the two storylines, but it's kept her going the entire run. And that's 2 years of just consistently strong booking. This is a star. This is someone you should be paying attention to. And now she's able to use that worth that she's built up and go, hey, I'm a hot commodity that people want. And it looks like WWE wants her.
Yeah. Best of luck, JC Jane.
Yeah, God, yeah. We've got a new NXT Women's Champion.
I hope that's... The timing's curious. I'm just saying. The timing's curious. Not the only AEW departure, though. Abaddon announcing yesterday that their contract with AEW will not be renewed, issuing a statement on Twitter saying, "My time with AEW is coming to an end. My contract expires in June and I will not be renewed. The emotions I'm currently trying to manage are incredibly difficult and full of conflict as I reflect on my time there. My goal is to not let this be the end for me because I love wrestling too much to just stop. I've put in a lot of hard work that I will now be able to showcase more often. While my heart is currently broken, you can bet that I'm still going to show up for training next week. If you're looking to book me, please send an email," and then to the email address there. Abaddon not seen in an AEW ring too much, mostly being used on Ring of Honor television. Abaddon is somebody who has such a tremendous amount of fan support that they're going to be totally fine.
Yeah.
Whatever Abaddon chooses to do next.
Really cool look as well. Like they're going on at the independent scene with such a unique presentation that no matter what they do, it's going to be interesting to see how they're booked across the country and having a new lease of life on that. Like outside of AEW and what the confines of AEW can give them, they can do whatever they want.
You can tell that there's a lot of emotion there. Abaddon clearly gutted about this whole thing. We send Abaddon our very best. Going to be totally fine. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back with more news in just a little bit. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.